Hello, Shell Point. Rich Nation here, your SPTV supervisor, along with Dan Philgreen, and we thought it was necessary to come on the show today and talk a little bit about our new format for Shell Point today. Hopefully you've been enjoying our new format as we've tried to present you a more warm and friendly version of the show, and a little bit different format with the content. And a lot of this is based on a survey that went out about 1.5 years ago that you residents filled out, and a lot of the feedback we've gotten since then to make the show more engaging and to kind of change things that you didn't like and highlight things that you did. And one of them was the activities or the happenings segment, where the girls would read basically the weekly reminder over the air. And so that's been moved over to an all-new channel. We have a channel 14 now. In channel 14, we're calling it the Daily Reminder. And on there, Dan, people can read and hear. So they can see and hear all of the activities that are happening for that day.
Including the menus.
Including
the menus over there.
That's all on channel 14 now. And so in this new segment of the show, you've probably seen that with Dan and Beth Crenshaw, and then some of the other people have joined them on the couch. And instead of going through all of the activities of that day, it's just a highlight of some of the more notable ones, some of the new things that are happening. And hopefully you're going to find that more engaging and entertaining. Other than that, Dan, talk to the viewers about why we did this as far as the whole format.
Expanding the hour.
Yeah, and the longer format.
Right, so for over 10 years, Shell Point Today has been a half hour, Monday through Thursday, starting at the top of the hour and again at the bottom of the hour. And then on the weekend show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we would replay the best of the week. So we've decided to kind of change that up and make the show an hour every day. And this does a few things for us. One really important thing is we found in the past, trying to package everything in a half hour, that often our feature stories ended up being a little bit too long. So we'd work hard to put these stories together and end up having at the last minute to edit them off and cut out maybe several minutes of really good content,
so this longer
just to
format,
make it fit the half hour. With the hour, we've got more flexibility.
Right.
If it's a little longer, we can let it go. So the idea then, as far as the repetition, we've gotten some feedback about, wow, you're repeating a lot. Well, we've always repeated our stuff on the weekends, but instead of just waiting to the weekend to repeat, we're repeating basically the next day and maybe the next day. So the idea overall for this hour is kind of like the news stations do with their news hours, where at the top of the hour it's late breaking stories, something new, and then later on we'll do the repeats later on. So basically as something ages, it gets pushed back later and later into the hour until there's not enough room and it just expires. So that's kind of the idea. If you watch Shell Point TV regularly, you will run into something you've seen before into that hour. So probably no one's going to really watch every hour every day, like you might have been watching all half an hour of the show, up to this point, because we are going to repeat intentionally that way. So the idea is once you see the Village Church Connections, that's kind of our demarcation line. Anything before that is going to be new for that day. Anything after that is going to be a repeat. So if you hadn't watched the show the day before, you can go ahead and see it. See
the stories.
But if all of a sudden you're watching something that you've seen before, it's safe for you to just go ahead and switch off, because you likely will have seen everything until the end at that point. So that's the idea. The older it gets, the later it goes, and that's how we're going to do it for now and see how that goes.
Yes, and it's also about having a longer show, Dan, so we can bring more content.
Absolutely,
because this thing's going to evolve. It's more about having more space to put more content, and you'll be seeing new features and new segments, even ongoing segments. But as Dan said, all the happenings and the activities are now moved to channel 14, and on channel 11, Shell Point Today, we're highlighting some of the more notable and the newer things and the bigger events. And then everything's new from the top of the hour all the way through to the Village Church Connections. And after that, we repeat segments from prior days. So you don't have to wait until the weekend edition to see something that you saw that you may have wanted to see.
Your neighbor says, hey, did you see that story? Well, you can watch it the next day.
Right. So we hope that clears it up for you. And we welcome your feedback. Feel free to call us here at the SPTV offices anytime. And we look forward to that and to this show growing, Dan, and evolving as we go.